Namaste and a very warm welcome to all our viewers. Today we have in our studio a very special guest, Dr. Omendra Ratnu. Dr. Ratnu is a medical doctor and founder of Nimittikam. His name is synonymous with compassion, kindness, and relentless courage. He has done a phenomenal job with the resettlement of persecuted Hindus from Pakistan through his organization Nimittikam. He's also the author of the book Maharas. He's currently touring the United States to spread awareness of his own endeavor, the Dhan Foundation. Let's welcome Dr. Ratnu and learn about his work in India and abroad. Namaskar, Dr. Ratnu.
Namaste, Anjali ji. Thank you for having me.
A very warm welcome to you, and we are overjoyed that you are going to be coming to Phoenix very soon. But before we talk about your trip to Phoenix and to the United States, we like to understand when did you realize that organizations like Nimittikam need to come into existence?
Well, it was in 2009 that I interacted with a Pakistani Hindu doctor, Dilip, who told me about the atrocities that Hindus face in Pakistan, and it shook me. And my being just revolted that why should a Hindu suffer all this just for being a Hindu? I mean, he's a law-abiding citizen. What kind of society does this to somebody for belonging to a religion which they don't belong to? So I started helping this whole community in Jaipur with money and all these kind of things and medical aid help because being a doctor, I had this whole circle of doctors who could help such this endeavor. In 2014, Modi ji put this whole election issue in the election manifesto of the BJP, and it was a very significant day for us that the mainstream political party realized the importance of this issue of saving these forsaken and forgotten Hindus of Pakistan, Hindus and Sardars, both Hindus and Sikhs. So once the political party started doing this, and once when I saw the magnitude of the problem, the influx of Hindus, the kind of phone calls that we would get from Pakistan, so then I realized that I have to register an NGO because I needed more money and I needed a platform to raise that money. And I needed people to work with me. I needed awareness. So we needed a platform where we could do all this. So then it was then that Nimittekam was born. Took it the word from Sanskrit, from the Bhagavad Gita. We say Nimittekam means Nimit. We are only the Nimitta of Ishwar's work. This is divine work. And we're just the instruments of the divine. So that's how this happened.
Omendraji, for giving us this overview and where your journey actually started. So, what is the purpose of Dharmansh Foundation for which you are touring in the United States?
The Ramanch Foundation came out of the understanding which I had while traveling for promoting the book Maharanas and traveling around the country, around Bharatvarsha, that there is a lot of ground activity, a lot of Hindu activists want to work. There are a lot of projects that need to be completed, but everywhere there is a cry for funding. So I decided that instead of this issue-based funding, ek Kanhaiya Lal ka murder hua, and then suddenly the Samaj starts getting together and we get 1.5 crores and give to one. We are not even aware that seven other Hindus were murdered when Kanhaiya Lal was murdered on the same issue. So we needed an institution which could take care of the Hindu survival in the subcontinent and even for that matter, even globally. There are issues we are facing globally. Hindus have a lot of enemies. So Dharmansh Foundation has been now created in the United States with the motive of providing an economic ecosystem for the Hindu Samaj, wherein whichever project needs funding, we will do that after due diligence, after taking care of the concerned that the money should be spent in the right way, and it should either promote Hindu dharma or it should protect Hindu dharma. Uh, we seek one lakh Hindus in the United States to give $10. One of the primary objectives of Dharman Foundation in US that we have thought of are is getting a refugee status for the Hindus of Pakistan who are facing extermination. Um, there is not much to be done in Bharat on this issue because after passage of the Citizenship Amendment Act, there's nothing more that the Indian government can do. And unfortunately, that's even that passage of the CAA has not eased much pain of these unfortunate people. So now for Canada and India and America, that they could be brought into these two countries as refugees. Eventually, globally, if we can take them to Europe or Australia, New Zealand, that's my goal. 1 crore Hindus of Pakistan are facing extermination. This is an issue we simply cannot ignore.
Absolutely not, Omendraji. I remember that it was this incident that happened with Reena and Ravina when I was even made aware that there is something like this going on in Pakistan, which completely shocked me. And I had several sleepless nights. And that is when I tried to do some research of my own to find out. And that's when I came to know about your organization. But I'm sure there are a lot of American Hindus and other Westerners who do not know about the plight of minorities in Pakistan. So, how are you creating awareness in the Western nations of their plight?
Frankly, I've run out of ideas. I don't know how to create awareness. I've given more than 2 dozen interviews on different news channels, on different YouTube channels. I've written a booklet on this. I'm writing a book right now on the genocide of Hindus and Sikhs in Pakistan. I've met the Department of State people. I have toured the United States at least 1 dozen times every month. For 1 full month, I stay here every year, giving up my practice and my work and my family. And I try to meet Hindus across the United States and Canada. Uh, I don't know what else can I do. The only hope is that the Indian government implements the Citizenship Amendment Act, and with this hullabaloo, this Shahin Bagh, when the Jihadi Samaj resists that, that is the only time that Hindu Samaj will notice this. So these are issues beyond my reach. So I do what I can do. I'm running around cities. I went to New Jersey, then to Pittsburgh. Now I'm in Canada, then to Chicago. Then I'll be coming to the West Coast. 100, 200 Hindus come to listen to me, and it's a great help. There's a lot of awareness we have been able to create in the past 10 years, but that's minuscule compared to the scale of the problem that we are facing. So honestly, I don't know what else can I do. I can self-immolate if it helps. मैं कभी कभी तो मन में आती है कि कुछ ऐसा ड्रास्टिक किया जाए, but that's a joke. I'm not going to do any such thing. The point is that it's one of my life's sad realizations that the Hindu Samaj is in a deep coma, and our artificial goals charm us so much that we are oblivious of the impending slaughter. The slaughter that is happening in Pakistan is going to reach our homes too in the next 10 years. And by then, if we realize it at that time, it will be too late. So I can only cry, I can only shout, I can only make Hindus realize it's happening at a slow pace, but that's all that I can do.
But Omendraji, each time that you come to the United States, do you think that the awareness that you're trying to create is it getting better with each trip that you are here?
If the numbers of people who come to listen to me is increasing, if that is any index, the funds that we are getting, we don't get much funds from the United States because we do not have a direct apparatus. So funds are mainly coming from Bharat only. Of course, people from United States with Indian accounts can also donate to us. Um, yes, I would say the awareness is increasing. The concern of Hindus for this issue is rising, but at a snail's pace. Not enough because let us understand that 1 crore Hindus of Pakistan are dying every day. For example, in the past 6 months, it's our understanding that more than 5,000 Hindus have converted to Islam in Pakistan. So we have lost 5,000 people in the past 6 months. So it is also our understanding that within the next 10 years, all of these Hindus will either be converted, killed, or we are waiting for a disaster to happen actually. uh, any day you can get a news that that entire villages, entire districts of Hindus, these mad people, these jihadis can do anything on a large scale any day. So
It's very heart wrenching, whatever you're telling, and it's not like I or some of the other Hindus are not aware of it, but it's not enough. We know that. We know that it's not enough. We know that a handful of us cannot go to Pakistan and fight. We are trying to do whatever we can in our little space to create awareness. And yes, we do receive a lot of pushback from our own um, Hindu brothers and sisters. But I still want to ask you that we as American Hindus, how can we help rescue these lost and unfortunate daughters of, I would say, Sindh, because that is the most impacted area?
the first thing that you can do sitting in your ashes is raise awareness. So the way you are helping me organize this program in Phoenix, that's a big help. That's a big thing. Give it all, give it all you have. One day in your weekly life, give it to the Sanatan Dharma, to these little daughters of Hinduism. Then, of course, money, uh, $10, $20 every month. Ask every Hindu to give $10, $20. If 1 lakh Hindus give $10 to Dharman Foundation, then we have $1 million every month. It is such a sad thing that Hindus never realize the power of cumulative money, in which you lose nothing, but you gain so much. I mean, $10 is nothing for a Hindu to give, but you gain freedom, you gain your daughters, you gain civility, you gain the salvaging of the unfortunate Hindus of Pakistan. So it's a very good bargain, I think.
Right. Dharmanj Foundation seems to have very lofty goals, and some of them maybe we can, which may take time to materialize. And I don't know if we have time on our side. So if you could give us a high level description of what are the short term goals of Dharmanj Foundation, if you were to receive this $1 million from
I
the.
told you we will hire law firms, legal firms, lobbying firms, advocacy groups. We would have this transaction with the politicians of this country, and try to get some relief by bringing as many Hindus from Pakistan as we can. $1 million is a lot of money, and if we can set an example that, like, for $1 million, if we can take out 1,000 Hindus out of Pakistan, then so be it. We pay our way through this. These Hindus can't be left to die in Pakistan. They have to be taken to Canada or America. So Dharmansh Canada has to come up. Dharmansh USA has to come up. Dharmansh India has to come up. We should be plush with funds. We should be plush with people, with activists. We should be able to pay through this. We should be able to hire people who have this expertise of how religious persecuted minorities can be given asylum in America and Canada. That's what we need to do.
So currently, Nimithikam, how is it helping in the resettlement of Hindus who leave Pakistan and they come to seek your help?
Nimitekam?
Yes.
Nimithekam's work starts the moment a Pakistani Hindu starts thinking of shifting to Bharat, because 95% of the Hindus, of the 1 crore Hindus in Pakistan, are Dalit Samaj, and very poor Hindus who do not even have money for a passport, for travel from interior Sindh to the Indian embassy in Islamabad, the cost of the visa and the cost of the travel. So we have to arrange money. We even arrange money for these unfortunate Hindus through very complicated means. We get this money delivered to them. And then this family, when it comes to Bharatvarsha, then our team gets down to immediate police verification and getting them enrolled with the intelligence bureau of the nation, and getting them a long-term visa of 5 years. And then we bring into the Samaj. Meghwal goes to a Meghwal Samaj, Balai goes to a Balai Samaj, Old Rajput goes to a Old Rajput Samaj, Mali goes to a Mali Samaj, Brahman goes to the Brahman Samaj, and the Samaj takes care of these people. We additionally take care of the medical issues, because I have a team of doctors in Jaipur and in Jodhpur who absolutely free of charge we are taking care of these Hindus, and gradually they become eligible for citizenship, which is like 12 years waiting, and then they become honorable citizens of the country.
So, other than the CA, which our current government in India proposed, is there anything, any other ways in which the government is helping these um,
No,
migrants
this,
from Pakistan?
no, this government is helping nothing, zero. The only help this government is doing is that it is not stopping us from helping them, if you call that a help. There is no plan for rehabilitation of such a large mass of population. There is the CA has not been implemented. The Indian embassy in Islamabad is completely opaque, and now they have stopped issuing visas to Hindus of Pakistan. For example, the Nimit Tekam team in Jaipur is applying for 1,500 visas. The number of visas granted by Indian embassy in Islamabad is 30. They've also stopped giving religious visas. There is one particular officer, Mr. Gaurav Rajput, who is deliberately obstructing these Hindus from coming to Bharat. So this government is doing nothing to help us. The only help they are giving us is that they are not able to stop us from helping these Pakistani Hindus. That's all.
This is very sad to know. Is there any reason why so many visas are requested are not being granted? Is there any life threat to those people who are granting visas, or is there any other reason?
Life threat to people granting visas. How can there be a life threat to people granting visas? They are Indian citizens. They are they are bureaucrats, very highly placed people. They are protected by the government machinery. There is no threat to them. It is
We can
just
expect anything in Pakistan, so I was just thinking out loud.
no, no. Pakistan, it's Pakistan. It's not Somalia after all. It's not that the Indian embassy is afraid of giving these visas deliberately. It is an evil design by a few leftists who still control the government machinery. And the so called Hindutvadi government of this country is unable to protect us. That's the whole story, long and short of it. The Hindu leadership, in my experience now, and begging with them, and the kind of indifference they have showed, I don't think they even care about these Pakistani Hindus. They want them to die. They want them to perish. So we are fighting this lost battle in this distant hope that the Hindus of America and Hindus of Canada will probably have that much mercy on these forsaken souls.
Well, I'm lost for words at the moment, and this problem seems to be far more complex than what I had imagined. Although I do have a lot of details and as to what is going on, but it looks like It's far more worse than that.
Yes, it is worse than what we had imagined and what we have been working. And this has deteriorated after the COVID issue. And especially in the past 6 months, this government has gone completely bonkers on the issue of Hindus of Pakistan.
Omendraji, tell us something about your book, Maharanas.
Well, again, this book was written to bring forth the true history of one dynasty of Mewar, which defeated Musalmans for 1000 years continuously. And my anger knows no bound when I look at the curriculum of our schools. For example, we were never taught about Maharana Kumbha, Maharana Hamir Singh, Maharana Sangram Singh. We had a footnote on Maharana Pratap, and we had a chapter on Akbar, who killed 40,000 Hindus in one day on 25th February 1568. Maharana Kumbha built 32 forts, of which one is the Kumbhalgarh, second largest wall after the Wall of China, built in 1450 AD. 56 battles fought, not one battle lost. Nobody even knows who Kumbha was. The Battle of Haldighati, which was a victory of Pratap, which I prove it in my book. The Battle of Khanwa between Sangha and Babur, which was a victory for Sangha, as I prove it in this book. I don't know what kind of history the jokers of this country have written, the joker historians. Uh, how could they do? They cheat with their own craft. What kind of fidelity they had to the Islamic conspiracy to belie the Hindu history. What were the Hindu historians doing? What were the Hindu thinkers doing? What was the Hindu leadership doing when this plunder of Hindu history was going on? If you look at the history books of this country, it is as though Hindus never existed on this land. Hindus are very incidental here. By the way, बैठे हैं यहाँ पर. Otherwise, अरब आ गए, अफगान आ गए, टर्क्स आ गए, मुगल आ गए, अंग्रेज आ गए, पोर्चुगीज आ गए, फ्रेंच आ गए. तो फिर एक सौ how are we 120 crore Hindus today? Nobody has applied its basic logic. Nobody has applied mind. Third rate people have written the history of this country, and even third rate people are continuing to have that history book and those history lessons. So, in this era of internet, I don't think that any book would be popular or be read if it was a bunch of lies. So, my book has been received pretty well by the Hindu Samaj. I wish it more people had read it, and a real alternative history vision would have been established with the help of internet. I think it's possible. But whatever little we have been able to achieve with the help of internet, spreading awareness about the Maharanas, um, I'm grateful to the Hindu Samaj that they have responded to the call and risen to the occasion, and the Samaj is now relearning its history, which is till now has been a tale of horrible lies. These so-called historians should be penalized for what they have done to the history of this country.
Do you think that the amount of damage, the lies that were told to us in the history books, um, do you think that there is still time that we can recover and our sleeping generation or generations, I should say, can wake up and at least get to a point where they can start understanding that they need to protect themselves, they need to have awareness of the enemy around them and what is the danger around them. Right now, it does not look like the Hindu caucus is even aware of this fact.
Yeah, Hindu caucus is is a bunch of infants pursuing artificial goals like big solitaire diamonds and stock markets and cricket and Bollywood. These are the pursuits of the Hindu caucus, Hindu Samaj. So, बोया पेड़ बबूल का तो आम कहाँ थे पाई. आप वही फसल काटेंगे ना जिसके जो बीज बोएंगे. And I have no hope if the government doesn't change the curriculum, then one book here or there is not going to salvage us. The curriculum of this country needs a sea change, a radical change. I challenge the crooks who masqueraded themselves as historians in this country to prove one fact in my book as wrong. I will withdraw the book and I will apologize publicly. But if what we have written in this book is right, then we should take away the degrees and the Padma Shris and the medals from these so-called self-proclaimed pseudo historians, and maybe even punish them by hanging by their toes in city squares, because lies have consequences. Lies have horrible consequences, which are borne by the children and the women of the Samaj. If the government of the day, if the Hinduvadi government, the BJP, the RSS, they want to save Hindu Samaj, then they have to change the curriculum. If the curriculum is not changed, I don't know. I don't think we can save this generation, and I don't think they can have any idea of who the enemy is. Forget about fighting the enemy.
So, other than you, Omendraji, are there any other influencers in the society in Bharat?
Fortunately, yes, Vikram Sampant is doing phenomenal work. Abhas Maladhiyar is doing great work. Shrimati Meenakshi Jain herself, who's a professor from one of these universities, absolutely brilliant lady, very honorable, very honest, very articulate. Uh, mm, Chavda ji is this. I'm forgetting his first name. Praveen something. These guys are doing some really good work. But as I said, it's drop in the ocean. Unless the curriculum is changed, the social media uh, alternative history is not going to save us.
So, Omendraji, it looks like there are a lot of loose ends here where which needs to be tightened. And what is your message to the American Hindu community now that you're touring US? How is it that we can help other than the Dharmansh Foundation? Yes, of course, but looks like we need to do more than that.
Trust me, you don't need to do anything more than that. If you give $10 a month and get me 1 lakh Hindus to do that, we will do the rest. Do that. Focus on Dharmansh. A central corpus generic fund for Hindu survival is the need of the hour. It is the only option left for us. Even if the history curriculum is not changed, with $1 million per month kitty, we can start our own history channel. The Hindu loss of Hindu life and Hindu property can be compensated by $1 million. To each Hindu, it will cost $10. But to the Hindu Samaj, this will be the game changer. If a Hindu can multitask, let him find his own way of helping, how he can help Hinduism. From an average Hindu, we request only one thing. Every Hindu should become a messenger for Dharmansh and should ask his neighbors, his friends, his family, his work colleagues to give $10 to Dharmansh Foundation. If 1 lakh Hindus give $10 and Dharmansh Foundation US gets $1 million, you will see how we save Sanatan Dharma.
Well, thank you so much, Obendraji, for giving us your valuable time. This is such an eye opening interview. I would request everyone to read the book Maharanas and please contribute to Dharmansh. So, reading the book Maharanas will give you some idea about India's glorious past. And also, let us not forget the sacrifices that our ancestors have made for us. And let us not forget that we have to give to Dharmanj, and we have to have this infrastructure set up for us, which Dr. Omendra Ratnu is here to help us and to guide us. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Ratnu.
you.
It was
Thank you.
such
Jai
a
Shri
pleasure
Ram.
having you. Thank you.
Jai
Bye
Shri
bye.
Ram.